Obviously, if you are threatening bankruptcy, once again, whether it's use of words saying may or is with a view to, legally, there are requirements, the statutory requirements that they have to meet, and if a person doesn't meet those requirements, then you can't take it forward.
Marlin told us they only threaten bankruptcy action if a customer who they believe has the means fails to engage with them about their debt. They said their procedures do not allow staff to mislead debtors.
What about the Office of Fair Trading guidelines? In April last year, the OFT announced it had evidence that 13 debt collection businesses and financial institutions were chasing customers for debts they didn't owe, were failing properly to investigate disputed debt, and were contacting customers at unreasonable times. But it refused to name and shame the firms, and not one of them has been fined. Marlin told us they were not one of them. Late last year, one of the biggest collectors in the industry, First Credit, was the subject of a high number of complaints. Local advice centres around the country were being contacted by people frightened by letters they'd received from the company.
What they did was they told these clients that they were going to make them bankrupt. And from reading the papers, it's clear that they probably had no intention of making them bankrupt. And even worse, they should have known that they had no grounds to do so. I made a complaint, and indeed I believe that lots of my fellow advisors over the country were also making similar complaints.
You go to any meeting for debt advice workers and First Credit will always pop up in some of the conversations where they would just issue statutory demands, which is the precursor to a bankruptcy, as if they were sweeties.
So what action did the OFT take against First Credit?
Only a requirement. They had applied for a renewal of licence. When the OFT had finished their audit, they then placed requirements upon First Credit which were conditions of their licence. They would be granted a renewed licence provided they followed these requirements. My own rather colloquial way of putting it was the OFT showed their teeth, but they didn't actually bite.
At the time, one of First Credit's directors, Najib Nathu, was also president of the Credit Services Association. He's kept that job and has since been promoted to First Credit's chief executive. We asked him for his view of what's happened.
The issues identified by the OFT predated my appointment as chief executive, and I recognised from the outset that it is my role to challenge and improve all of our operational practices. We have an ongoing and positive dialogue with the Office of Fair Trading.
Meanwhile, back at Marlin, Mark is busy as ever, keeping ahead of the competition.
Hi, is there, please? It's the solicitors phoning. She's not. What time shall I give her a call back? She's at work, I take it. What time shall I give her a call back? Oh, what's her work number? Sorry, I don't have that. She's given me this as her daytime number to call. Thank you. Yeah, I will do. Thank you. Ha new employment details.
Then Mark gave me some insight into his method.
You have to put yourself in the shoes of a debtor. Right, what's happened prior to me speaking to this client today? Well, on this one, they took a bank loan out about 10 years ago. They then defaulted on it about 8 years ago. And in the last 8 years, all that's happened is they've not paid jack shit. They've been to every debt management company and solicitors going and not paid a penny. Now, all of those will all do the same thing. Where's your money? Where's your money? Where's your money? Give it to me. Give it to me. Yeah? And all they've got is off each time from the debtor, yeah? That's all they've got each time is a big off. Make yourself different. Sound almost like you don't care about the money, and you're just here to advise them. And by taking that, I don't know. What works for me might not work for you, but it works.
But this professional front is hard to keep up.
Sorry to have had to contact you on your work number, but there is a reason behind it, and I'll go into that. I'll only keep you briefly, I know you're busy. You've stopped paying now under the court judgment. Unless we can get the £80 arrears cleared, and this is the reason we had to contact you at work, we now have to turn the court judgment into an attachment of earnings order against your employers. Beg your pardon? No one insinuated you were a muppet, as you put it. That's fine. It's good. Telephone work. I've done what I wanted to do there, which was confirm it. She's well in arrears, Mortimer Clark.
But that's not the end of it for Mark.
So she hung up the phone on me. I'll phone her back now. She doesn't want to talk to me at work. Yeah, hi, if you can on, please. Hello? She won't talk to me then. That's why I'm going to call at work now. I'll keep calling back all day long if you want. No one's saying it is so, but you're the one who's employing someone, or the employer of someone who's, you know, evading people from your work number. I won't be doing that, but let her know we've now confirmed employment, so that's all I need to know. Thank you. Yeah.
Well, there's several areas where he's on dodgy ground. Unfair business practices in terms of contacting at work. I mean, that is section 2.2 of the Office of Fair Trading Guidelines, where he has to abide by the debtor's wishes as to where she wants to be contacted and when. And also you've got a big breach there where he has to be discreet and circumspect in trying to get hold of her, and not getting a third party to pass the information on.
So why do they choose this route rather than go down the official route?
Because if they can pressurise somebody, then they know that ultimately they may well get more money from them.
At our next team meeting, we're told that Marlin is going to get tough. The company has bought debts originally owned by Yorkshire and Clydesdale Bank, owed by homeowners who have lots of cash tied up in their properties. We are told not to make any arrangements with them to pay by instalments. Instead, they must pay the full balance within 14 days, or they could face legal action.
You're telling them that they could get a charge on the property? No. They're going bankrupt.
Oh, so we're just going straight with the big guns?
Are we allowed to say bankrupt?
28 then.
I thought we weren't allowed to say that. They're going to be having the bankruptcy letter, so they don't pay the full balance, but you will be referred to our solicitors to take legal action. So we don't say bankruptcy, you will be referred to our solicitors.
Wait, are we not allowed to say bankruptcy anymore then?
You can explain what bankruptcy is, yeah. Yeah, but this will be, you're being referred to our solicitors for legal action to be taken against you. So we are going to bankrupt them. But we weren't told.
I remembered what Cheryl told me about bankruptcy when I started at Marlin.
All right.
But it's just more serious, it's so serious, and could you imagine if you make someone bankrupt, you're ruining their life, really. So to use that as a collections tool is quite cruel.
If you want to know what bankruptcy looks like, here it is. For David and Caroline and their 3 small children in their home near Liverpool.
Council tax reminder for overdue instalments, £114. That's a letter that was sent to my neighbours about me, asking questions about the whereabouts of me and asking them to send them any information they've got.
Today in Britain, over 200 people are declared bankrupt every day. That's already up a quarter on last year.
I owe them £2,045.
In the good times, they were flush. Then a year ago, David's architectural salvage business and Caroline's beauty salon both went bust. Today, David works as an oil storage depot manager and Caroline works part-time in a solicitor's office.
The situation we're in now, pretty dire. We live basically day to day. Money, whatever money we've got, then pays for food, bills. What bills priority, they get paid first. What to say about debt collection agencies, I would say if you get a letter off them, get in touch with them.
Don't bury your head at all, face it, because when it gets down the line and you're not opening letters, it just gets worse, doesn't it?
Yeah, especially when they knock on the door and they get the foot in the door and you've got the youngsters running around, and the next minute they're in the house and you can't get them out.
After 6 weeks, I quit working as a debt collector for Marlin Financial Services. I was praised by Marlin for treating customers fairly, but I'd had enough.
Dispatches asked Marlin about the behaviour Tom witnessed while he was working there.
Marlin told us that they were a responsible debt collector with extensive procedures to ensure compliance with the OFT guidance and the CSA Code of Practice. They said they had an excellent compliance record with no complaints having been upheld against them by any regulator or other body. They said all staff receive thorough training to ensure the incidences purported in this programme are not typical of our business operations. They made it clear they did not accept that their communications with debtors constituted a breach of the codes. However, they acknowledged that as a precautionary measure, staff had been retrained in some areas. They considered that our investigation had uncovered no evidence of systemic breaches of OFT guidance or the CSA Code. They said that in any business, isolated mistakes may be made, and that they will always endeavour to minimise such mistakes and improve conduct.
If you have an outstanding debt today, then chances are it's been sold to a debt collection agency that then makes its profits by getting you to pay up.
Of course, if you owe a debt, you're obliged to pay it. But who compels the collectors to act properly? If the OFT won't robustly enforce the guidelines, the best thing you can do if you're struggling with debts is to seek professional advice before you end up getting a call from a collector.